Alright guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing the Gravity Curse inside of Elemental Awakening. If you guys have not played this game, it's basically an Elemental Battlegrounds kind of remake, but it's a little bit unique, and I personally am having a lot of fun on this game. I know a lot of others are as well. And yeah, so hopefully you guys do enjoy. As always, if you do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video, and comment down below what I can improve on, and if you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so starting off, we have the first move, which is the passive, Singularity. Alright, whenever damaged, there is a small chance you will enter a state of immense gravity for 8 seconds, gaining 2 times defense. This ability is very, very strong, actually, believe it or not. I think it's like a 10% chance, if I'm not mistaken, that this will activate when you're fighting somebody. And it's very strong, especially if you're getting comboed, because the damage that they're doing to you just instantly gets halved. And sometimes their combos don't work because they're not doing enough damage to you. Next up, we have the E ability, Flux, costs 10% max mana. What that means is, no matter your level, it's always going to take 10% of your mana. But I've also found that if you kind of like time it right, you can usually get 11 of these jumps instead of 10. Basically, you launch yourself into the air, creating a small AoE that launches people under you. The AoE part that launches people, it only really works for the first one. They don't really necessarily follow you up as you go. But that move is really essential. The dash move is very, very essential to Gravity's kit. Because you can basically get out of any situation if it's like a bad one. And you can also use that in conjunction with the Skyhammer move, which we'll go over later. Next up, we have the Crush ability. Create an area of strong gravity at your cursor. Charging this move increases range and stun and shatters shields at max charge. This move is very strong as well. This is, I think, what makes Gravity so strong. Because combos, you can basically just combo the heck out of people with this and the Rise and Fall moves. Let's go ahead and click it. Fairly small AoE, as you guys can see. The range is very far though. You can throw it all the way over there, or I think you can even go further. Let me see over here. Yeah, like it's a very far range. But also, you can charge it up, as it said, and it will break shields. So if someone just, like if someone thinks they can tank this hit, they do this, right? They're gonna get damaged still if you hold it. So just go ahead and hold it down. As you guys can see, AoE is a lot larger, and it also breaks shields. Now you can do in between as well if you just hold it down for a little bit. So it's not necessarily the full charge, but it's also not the smallest charge. It's a very strong ability. Next up, we have the Push attack. This is unlocked at level 8. You push enemies away and deal damage to them. At max cast, push range and damage is increased, push width is decreased, and it also affects projectiles. This move is also a very strong part of Gravity's kit. Just basic click. Very wide AoE. Range is kind of limited, but as you guys know, if we max cast it, the range will get increased, but the width will get decreased. You guys can see that right there. It also shoots back projectiles, so if someone has Celestial or any kit that actually has projectiles that they throw at you, and they're kind of slow moving. I know Time also has one, like the Time Bombs. You can literally just hold this down, charge it, and you can basically push it back at them, which is pretty funny. But that move's also really good. It does good damage as well. Next up, we have the Skyhammer. This is unlocked at level 15. Crash down into the earth. Depending on height used, impact will gain range, stun, and damage. Must be in the air to use this. Alright, so this is what I was talking about with the E move, right? You use this in conjunction with the E, and it's pretty crazy how it works. So we'll go ahead and do one little mini Skyhammer. Just a little mini one. You guys can get an idea of how it works. Basically, you click and boom. Fairly large AoE. It's about the size of the held down Crush ability. But it is easily dodgeable. If they see you go up in the air and they see when you activate it, they can dodge it pretty easily. That is, unless you go all the way up in the air, and then it's kind of hard to dodge because the AoE is massive. So let's go ahead and go all the way up now. Alright, charging it up. Boom. You guys can see the AoE on this is massive. It covers like this whole entire area for like 500 studs each way. It is actually insane. That move is really, really good. You can also hold it down, but I personally found that holding it down doesn't really do too much for you because you're losing height. Like, I don't know if you guys can notice this. So hold on, let me just hold it down real quick. If you hold it down instead of clicking, you guys see how much height I lost on that attack? And yeah, no. So I would highly recommend you guys don't hold it down. That's with my personal experience. Yeah, it's a really strong attack though if you know how to use it properly and when to use it, because it does drain, like, quite literally all of your stamina. So you want to use it as a finisher. If you go into a fight, like you start the fight with that move, you're kind of screwing yourself over because it doesn't one-shot them if they're like around the same level, and you have no stamina left over, so you cannot block, because we all know that blocking drains stamina pretty quickly. Next up, we have the Rise and Fall ability. Let's go ahead and check this out. Throw a Singularity that bounces once, then lifts up surrounding ground in a large area. Alright, let's go ahead and show what this does. Basically bounces once. Then it brings, sometimes it can be 5 meteors, other times it can be 6, and it can even be like 2 or 3 depending on where you cast this. So make sure you're doing this on a big flat surface where there's lots of surface area so it can spawn all the rocks. And you guys probably already guessed it, the fall move is how you actually shoot these meteors. So you basically just click wherever you want. The range on this is actually incredible. As you guys can see, trees do block these, but it really doesn't matter because you have like 5 or 6 of these at a time. They travel at the speed of light. It's almost impossible to dodge, and the range is just crazy on this, and the cooldown is like 2 seconds. So if I go ahead and use the fall move over here, you guys can see it still reaches all the way over there on that bridge. That just goes to show how broken this this move is, man. It's crazy. Send it way the heck over there if you want. Alright, next up we have Pressure. You unlock this at level 35. Alright, send out gravitational waves that impair the vision of enemies in range and briefly stun them. In addition, projectiles in the area will be crushed into the ground. So similar to the push ability, when it's full charged, this will push any projectiles straight into the ground, no matter if you charge it or not. So if you just click, any projectiles that are coming at you, like celestial planets, they're just going to get thrown into the ground. Now this does stun the enemies for quite a long time. It does no damage. Keep that in mind, it doesn't do any damage. But their screen does go all shaky, and it goes like white and black, I'm pretty sure. And it's a bit disorienting, but I think this is personally the weakest ability in Gravity's kit, just because it doesn't do any damage, you know what I mean? Because it's cool for the stun and all, but the crush stuns. This move right here, it stuns. The push basically stuns because it pushes them back, they get ragdolled. The Rise and Fall meteors, they also stun the characters, and so does the Sky Hammer. So Pressure is definitely the most useless ability, but it's also still really good because the AoE, it's like huge. And so after that, at level 50, you unlock the ultimate. It's not actually out yet, but it will be out soon. Fly using gravity drains mana, so while you're flying, pretty much, kind of like similar to the block, it's just going to constantly drain your mana. In addition, gain access to 3 new moves while in this mode, R, T, and G. I'm guessing those are the keybinds. You cannot use regular spells in this mode. So what that means is while you're flying around, you cannot use the Crush, the Push, Sky Hammer, Rise, Fall, anything. You have 3 special in-flight moves, and that's all you can use. And I will be sure to update this video or make a completely new video as soon as that does release. But for the meantime, it's not actually out yet, so I cannot make a video on that, sadly. Alright, and that basically sums up today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, if you did, you should like today's video. And yeah, that's about it. My name's Azend. Peace out.